Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Thank you so much for joining us again. Now, first things first, I'm sorry. We're not working on the Porsche, but please don't switch off. To be honest with you, it's been so long since we last filmed these, I can't remember what the last thing you saw was, but I do remember drilling the holes in the base and a few of you commenting saying I need to weld the two bits of jig together. I will do that. Two big problems. First one is the casting was made as a replica of the original and the holes are cast in already. I've since realised that that was a mistake because I can't use Babbitt in these small machines like I do in the big machines. It's too small, and to allow for the amount of Babbitt that we need for it to be secure, the axles end up so small it's not going to work. So plan B is to drill the holes in the castings slightly larger, attach the axles to the casting somehow. Whether I heat up the casting and press in the axles or screw them in or solder them in, I'm not entirely sure yet. We tried to use the Bridgeport, the mill, to actually fixture it and drill the holes. That didn't work. There was too much vibration. I've made this big old contraption for my sort of fixture table, a big tower that I was going to put the mag drill on, and then with an extension on the cutting piece and a little collar at the bottom, clamp the casting to this main upright tower and then drill down. Problem is these two holes are two different sizes, perfectly in line. There was just too much room for error and I couldn't be accurate enough. Because of all of that, I've now drilled the hole here in the wrong place and it's gone slightly offside. I think that's mostly to do with the way the cutters work on the mag drill. They have a center pin that keeps everything nice and true and square. Because I had the hole already in the casting, there was no center pin. I tried using a collar, it's flapping around, it was a nightmare, and I've now ruined the first casting. So that's a big problem. That mag drill not working, the Bridgeport not working, meant I needed a new machine. Something new, something big, something solid, something that I can rely on and trust is going to be definitely square. I feel like I may have overdone it ever so slightly, but big is better, isn't it? I know it's not a Porsche, but it's quite exciting. Look at the size of it. I've had to get a mega crane, a truck with a massive high-ab to pick it up. But Durston Tools, they who sold me this machine, and they make the rolling mills for jewellers that Richard Talman from the repair shop actually has on his desk. Make various other jewellery making tools, and this has come out of their factory. I think they've owned it for about at least 30 years, maybe more. But yeah, it's an exciting day.
I know you'd leave me to die on the road. I know you'd leave me out here in the cold. I know you'd leave me with a load of...
It's wedged right in the corner of this yard next to a skip. It's so difficult. The driver's now trying to sort of drag it out away from the skip so we can actually get a proper grip of it before we lift it up properly. At the moment it's just a kind of dragging situation. Poor driver, I've not made it easy for him.
Say I'm weak when I'm being kind. Looking at pages, reading your mind. It takes two to tango, but I'm dancing on my own. Every stone in this house being alone. And those plans you're making will hold no shine. I don't care what you're taking.
Oh, he's done it. Look at that, it's on the truck. Hopefully there were plenty of straps because that thing it's a monster. Oh, it was so precarious. I was absolutely terrified. I really was like just dangling, like 3.5 tons dangling when we get back to my workshop. Things should be a little bit more straightforward. At least there's no skips and no tight alleyways in the way. Okay, back in the workshop. I'm a bit out of breath because I've just been having a bit of a sweep up, having a bit of a tidy up and trying to make some space, make sure there's no little annoying bits of stone or something. The odd little nut and a bolt that's on the floor that's so annoying if the wheels just get stuck on. Talking of wheels, look, I've got a new pair of skates. It's like a solid lump of cast. They should have these little pads in the middle. I've cut these off of the lift. They fit pretty well. And it's like a tank, it's like a conveyor belt almost. I need to get it on those skates and then from the door along there in that gap. Feels like a very long way at the moment. He's made it. Slightly more undressed, but soon we'll get to see what's under the cover. What on earth have I bought? For anybody that knows, this is a radial arm drill. For anybody that doesn't know, basically, this massive machine that weighs 3.5 tons is a drill. It drills big holes in things like cast iron very well and very accurately. I didn't think it was that big. I was like, oh, that looks all right. It's a good size. Now it's in here. It literally, look, it barely scraped in through the top of the roller shutter. It is massive. Which I think is why these things are relatively, they're not cheap. This definitely wasn't cheap, but it's, compared to a brand new pillar drill, this is an awful lot of drill for the money, basically. And I think that's mostly because they're so heavy and awkward and expensive to move. The transport pretty much cost what it cost to buy the machine, nearly. I love it though. It's awesome. This has been inside that factory making rolling mills for about 50 years. Maybe a bit more. His father had the company, I think he started the company, and this was his father's drill. His father used this, and he's sadly passed away, and now the son is running the business, and he's kept hold of this for years. I think sentimentally, more than anything else. They don't actually use it. They haven't really used it at all for the last 25 years, I don't think, like the odd hole here and there. So that's all this machine's really done, drilled holes in cast iron. Now that process has changed, they've got CNC mills and all sorts of stuff, so I think they just haven't used it, and he couldn't quite bear to get rid of it. It's gone to a good home. I bought this online on eBay, completely sight unseen, didn't look at it, didn't know if it works. You know, the advert says it worked 25 years ago. We're in this together. I'm in way over my head with this. It's 3-phase. Brother Dan has gone away with work, so he's not here anymore to help me get it working. Electrically, it probably should be okay, I hope. Mechanically, I've honestly got no idea. Never used one of these before, never met one, never seen one before, like up close like this. What have I got myself in for? Anyone out there that's watching, leave me some comments, give me a hand. Workshop manual online, somewhere I can download a workshop manual, a user guide, or links to anyone that's actually got one of these up and running before, used one. At least once this is up and running, I can rely on it. I know that's going to drill a straight hole. You know, like the bed is flat, or it will be, the bed will be flat, and it's going to work. I can rely on this. So all it will be is fixturing. I'm planning on using this massive block with some sort of T-slots, making some fixtures to bolt the Ranalah, probably to the side of the table at one point, maybe on its back on the top. There's so many options. There's a big old hole that I need to drill, and a big hole needs a big drill. So we've certainly got that. I need to move it down halfway down the workshop because it can't stay here. But whilst it's here, I've got some degreaser, I've got some brake cleaner. I'm going to give it a bit of a spray, a bit of a soak, try and get some of the grease off of it before I even dare looking at things. I hope nothing's broken. underneath all this thick gunge is a beautiful machine. Look at that. Beautiful paint underneath. This is so exciting. It was completely covered in the thickest layer of just muck. With some brake cleaner from Worth and a rag and a brush, I'm going to scrub this thing and get it looking beautiful. It's terrifyingly close to the original colour of the 356. There we go. This is not easy. I think it's in a good spot. I mean, it's in a good enough spot. Should we call it that? I bought this little bottle jack for this job, and I'm really glad I did. It lifts 5 tons, so it's actually lifting the machine up really well. It's a toe jack, so it's like a bottle jack with a little foot coming out that I can just put under the front of the machine, lift it up just enough to get my skates out without putting my fingers underneath in a vulnerable spot. It just needs a bit of a tidy up, a little bit of love, and me to, first of all, learn how to drive it. And I'm not quite brave enough to wire it in yet, because I need to learn what all of these levers and knobs and dials and gears do before I just storm ahead and plug it in. I have a massive fear that I'm going to plug it in, turn it on, and it's just going to start moving and spinning and going up and down, and I'll break something. So I'm going to very cautiously clean it all up, make sure it's all good, then I'll plug it in the next episode. We'll turn it on in the next episode and see what happens. But actually, in the meantime, I need some help. There's various gearboxes on this with little sight levels. What oil should I use in this? I don't have a workshop manual, an owner's manual, instruction guide, or anything like that. Some of you must be more familiar with this drill than I am. Leave us a comment below, please. What oil should I be using in the gearbox on this? So hopefully in the next episode, we can fill it with oil, turn it on, and start drilling holes. But on that note, none of the tooling that I've got fits on it. I need various different attachments, which I'm going to now spend a few weeks trying to source and trying to find, so I can use the same cutters that I had in my mag drill on this beast. That will happen next week. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.